Hey everybody, welcome back to the ChatGTM podcast. This is Michael Beck reporting here live from the last day of the Restaurant Leadership Conference at the beautiful JW Marriott in Phoenix, Arizona. I am fortunate to have another amazing interview here with Mr. David Gaughan from Sodexo.
Yes.
A very tiny shop with a couple of things that they do. They aren't in many places at all. And today is opposite day because they're massive, they're amazing, and they're huge, and they do a lot of different things. And so first off, David, welcome to the show.
Pleasure, thank you.
Pleasure's all mine. So first off, how are you doing today?
Doing good. It's been a busy time. It's been a busy few days. Get to travel home today.
Yep.
Repack a suitcase to get ready to travel again on Friday.
But where's home?
Home is Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Okay.
Works out well, middle of the country, and also right by where our corporate headquarters is in North America, but it's just a coincidence.
Central location, easy to deploy. Love it. And what's your role over at Sodexo? What do you do?
So I'm Senior Director of Field Marketing. So head of Field Marketing for our corporate services segment. So really focused on workplace dining, corporate offices, corporate clients around the country, and really on the consumer-led experience, the consumer, the guest. How do our brands impact them?
And I can only imagine how busy you are in your function. And anytime we go to something like this, as nice it is what we call an opportunity cost in the business, right?
Absolutely.
What brought you here?
Besides my boss,
Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. The ability to connect with other parts of our industry and to learn what the rest of the food service, hospitality, restaurant industry is doing at scale that we want to bring into the workplace. Workplace dining is very different than high street.
Yes.
Whether it's fast casual or QSR, but that's who we compete with. Yeah, we have the same companies that do the same thing we do that we sell to our clients or compete against. But that's not who our guests are going to. Our guests are going to what's on the high street, and that's who we're competing with. So we want to make sure that we're delivering the same level of experience, the same level of food. If it's technology that they see on the street and they have that expectation to use it there, we want to make sure they can use that same enabling frictionless experience in the workplace.
Yeah. Is Sodexo unified by tech? I mean, if you go across the locations of Sodexo's installations, are you this POS or this solution or service, or is it a mixed bag of technology that goes across the business?
It's a mixed bag. In corporate services, we are starting to enterprise deploy different systems, and I think it differs whether we're talking about a back of house system or a front of house system.
Right.
About 65% of our accounts in corporate dining in Sodexo are on a single platform for the consumer experience, and a couple for back of house. And as an organization, through all of our segments, because we also do universities and healthcare and senior services, are going to a streamlined enterprise-wide back-of-house food management system.
Which makes sense.
It makes it easier to manage purchasing, manage menu planning, etc. How those then have to connect to disparate POS systems, apps, all that stuff. Corporate services, we've tried to have a unified experience.
It's complex really fast.
So yeah, about 65% on one single platform that does, it's a SaaS white labeled platform for us. So whether you're using a kiosk, an EPOS, an app, that's one platform. And then we have 30% that's on a couple of random other platforms, but primarily 3. So we're slightly lucky, but it makes it interesting when we're looking at data and insights.
And forgive my ignorance here, but this is why I do this also to learn some stuff. So if I think about airport aggregators, right? HMS hosts, things like that, and they have licensing agreements from various restaurant brands that exist inside of airports.
Yes.
Is it the same kind of arrangement? And do you have to take on that technology that those brands have if you're supporting those brands in your places?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So in corporate dining, a little less so than like a university segment, where their retail is very brand driven. Whereas in corporate dining, we have a brand-led model, but it's brands that we've created. So we've sort of created our own restaurant group. So brands like Modern Recipe and Kitchenworks and Good Eating Company that we deploy across the country. Each brand trying to deliver on high street, but also developed and built to match a need state for a specific type of client, a specific type of location, and a specific type of guest. Some of our clients do like national brands and regional brands, so we do have some. I probably can count on 2 hands, maybe I need a third, for the number of national brands we actually have deployed in corporate services. And while as an organization we probably have partnerships with 20 to 30 external national brands and regional local brands. We've got primarily 3 deployed in corporate services because they're the big ones that clients are used to seeing in the workplace. When you think about brands that are very well known, everywhere on the
certain
street.
coffee brand kind of thing.
A certain coffee brand, a certain sandwich brand, and a certain chicken brand.
Right.
That everybody is used to seeing and makes sense to have in the workplace, and we can manage the scale.
Got it.
They do, most of them, 2 of the 3 primary ones that we have, do require their own POS. So, which, might be a pain for us from an integration and data and insights perspective, and then managing 2 different systems from a consumer perspective and production perspective, different KDSs, all sorts of different things. But from a guest experience, they're used to having multiple apps on their phone from what they're doing on the street. So that's not new to them, but they still get to use their loyalty scheme that might come with that coffee brand, that if we didn't use their POS system, they wouldn't be able to. So there's a benefit to it, and we got to kind of do that cost benefit analysis as to the pain points for us, but the benefit to the guest.
Right, and sometimes they just have FDDs that say this is what you have to use, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we try to work with them, and then they're like, yeah, no, we don't like your product. We're sticking with ours.
Right. You've mentioned, for clarifying question, you mentioned the term high street multiple times now. What is that?
So anything street retail that anybody would consider. We're a French-owned company. They tend to like high street, I think, because in London, that's the name of the street. That's like Main Street. US would probably be Main Street.
Okay.
But we compete.
So it'd be like Main Street USA.
Main Street USA, yeah. So what do you see on Main Street USA? What are the QSR brands, the fast casuals that kind of compete with the level of service that we offer?
Now I have a total mental picture of what that street looks like. If I pushed AI, it would pump out a very specific photo.
If you did, yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
So thinking about, like, marketing for Sodexo has to be a totally different animal than if I'm a QSR brand directly marketing one-to-one to a consumer.
Right.
You're marketing to businesses. How's that dynamic for you?
It's interesting because it is very different, right? I always say I used to support our sales process in solutioning, and I've been in marketing with a company. I've worked for Sodexo for 35 years, so it's the only place I've worked. It's
where all the bodies are buried.
I know where some bodies are buried. And I've been in the marketing field for the last 18 years or so. And I say that we sell to a client, but we have to deliver to a consumer. So that's really difficult because a client may have a very specific want and need state, and they think they know what they want. And they think they know what all their employees want. It's not always the same.
No.
So we have to sell something. So we've created brands to do that. And we want our guests to start to associate with our brands because they may see them in other places as well. They may see them when they go onto the street. We've got some street-facing retail in some of our newer kind of multi-use, mixed-use buildings that we partner with that might have offices and street retail and a restaurant that we might run. So at least getting the name of our street front brand. They may not know Sodexo.
Right.
I don't necessarily need them to know Sodexo. It would be nice.
Right.
But if they can resonate with the Good Eating Company or resonate with Modern Recipe or Kitchenworks,
So
or at least
mission accomplished.
and at least know that, because you want to follow us on social media, Sodexo, you're going to see a lot of corporate stuff. We're the 23rd largest employer in the world. Most people have no idea who we are.
Wow.
I say we're the biggest company that nobody's ever heard of.
Wow.
And if you have heard of us, it's very specific reasons, right? Usually it's because we fed you somewhere.
Right.
But the ability to follow our Instagram, I mean, it's going to be interesting, but not that interesting. Follow Modern Recipes Instagram, and you're going to see like or Kitchenworks or Good Eating
And
Company.
people
You're going to see the celebrity chefs
culture,
that we partner
right?
with. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We partner with celebrity chefs, or we use celebrity chefs like street retail might use influencers.
Drop some names. Who you got?
So we partner with Michael Simon for our Kitchenworks brand, Brooke Williamson for our Modern Recipe brand. Steph Iser's just starting as a partnership for our Good Eating Company brand, and Nancy Silverton. So like looking at them to bring culinary credibility.
Yeah.
And bring us menu innovation and bring us the ability to storytell.
Right.
And just that ability to have a recognizable face to talk about the great food that our teams on site produce every day. Sometimes it's Michael Simon's recipe. Sometimes it's our chef on site's recipe. But they have the same mindset about food.
And I imagine you're surfacing that was a menu and design and innovation by that celebrity chef for attribution and craveability and excitement to build for that, right?
We give them, we look at insights both from what we're selling, so what can our data and our tech help us tell about the story about data, but then also what trends are going on there. What do those chefs, what are they doing in their own restaurants on the street or on TV that makes sense, that will be recognizable for them, but craveable for our guests?
So you open the door to data, and I'm going to say the acronym that we're all hearing every day, 5,000 times a day, AI.
The two-letter acronym?
Yes, two-letter acronym. Right.
Is it an acronym when it's 2 letters? I don't know.
Maybe it's just an acro or a NIM.
It's a NIM. And Sodexo loves a good acronym, so I'm good with it. Yeah.
How are you leveraging how is Sodexo leveraging that for whether it's personalization, data, foundational data analysis? You're talking millions of data points for you across the whole business, or for your purchasing co-ops or whatever. How are you guys using it, or even from just a marketing lens?
I mean, at the basics level, even for the last few years, using AI to help make our lives easier, right? So if you're using generative AI to just help me create a plan, to maybe create an image to use for marketing, or to tweak an image that we might use so that we have consistency, because it's got to look like it's going to look on the plate, but it's also going to look sellable in our app and on the website, social channels,
and brand guidelines.
Using AI to help us write certain brand guidelines, but then using agentic AI to look at the data. AI can hopefully be used by us to make sure that we're offering something to the guests to make it easier for them to make a choice, to do an upsell, to do an add-on. But also, everything that we use digital and tech for is designed to make the lives of our operators easier.
It should be.
Right? Yeah. In corporate dining alone, I've got about 450, 500 sites just in North America for corporate services sites. All those managers having to look at inventory, having to look at what's sold, having to program their information. And then, I can look at a product mix report and see what I sold.
Right.
But using AI to tell me, okay, that's sold, and it rated this and
right.
X.
There's a prescriptive nature that comes out of that too,
exactly, right? So it can help us to look at themes, what are guests asking for, where are they putting things in the cart, not purchasing. So making decisions on what should stay on a menu, what shouldn't stay on a menu, how much we should have to produce next week when that menu is back on the cycle, because in most of our locations, our menus change every day. So it's not like a traditional QSR where your menu is your menu. You get an LTO. We do LTOs as part of our marketing campaigns, right? But our menus, 50% of our menus in most of our locations could change every day. So every step that we can make to get our operators' lives easier.
Wait, did you say 50% of your menu could change every day?
Yeah. Every day or at least twice a week. Depending on the number. Your workforce, you might have people in your buildings primarily 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So maybe it's only changing, and maybe it is changing every day because they're only there 3 days, and every day you're going to want to see something different. You're there 5 days, maybe it changes twice or three times, do a 2-1-2 kind of cycle of when menu orientation changes. But it's very different than street retail.
Wow.
And then you've got AI that can actually be touched and felt by the consumer. So it might be computer vision or self-checkout AI that we might use, similar to what you'd see in some street retail from like a
Amazon's doing that in some of their places, Whole Foods,
Whole Foods that can recognize, your consumer packaged goods really easy. So using that in convenience markets. So we see what you see in a grocery store to a convenience store to bringing that into the workplace to robotics that might be picking up your dirty dishes or making you a pizza or cooking a burger and you just don't see it in the back of the house.
Yeah, so we have digital AI and physical AI, right? Those different things. So you said you've been with Sodexo for how many years? 34?
35 years.
35 years.
What were you doing before when I started? I was going to high school before that. I started with the company when I was a freshman in college.
Would you ever guess in a million years you'd be right here where you are?
No, not at all. We were joking about this last night. I went to school to get a degree in hotel restaurant management, fully intending to work in hotel or leisure. I'd never worked in food. I needed a job to pay for college. And the retail dining location was across the street from my dorm, and I didn't have a car. So that's where I worked.
And so you started at a Sodexo unit and got some affinity there and worked your way into the brand? Is that how it worked?
Yep. So I started, literally first week, dish room, ice cream, and deli. I don't work deli anymore. I work the dish room sometimes.
Do you do the ice cream now?
I love ice cream, so I will if a unit has an ice cream station. But yeah, by the end of my freshman year, I was a student manager full-time through college just because of, having to pay for school.
Sure.
And then stayed there afterwards as a retail director, catering manager, general manager, then relocated around the East Coast. So I've been in operations in 2 of our segments, universities and corporate dining in upstate New York, in DC, in New York City, been in HR. I randomly did about 5 years as a recruiter for the company, and then in marketing for the last 18.
Wow. See, these are the stories I love. It's in hospitality, more than anywhere else, it feels like this is a true story or a true statement that you can start as a dishwasher.
And very right. My CEO that I worked for started within the company as a frontline cook. He's only got 4 years more than me in the company.
Yeah.
He's one of those few people that I can say works for the company longer than I have. But I know I've got several colleagues. One of my SVPs, he's 4 years younger than me, but the exact same career track. We were both student managers. We were both frontline managers. We were both marketing directors, split the country.
Right.
Now he's an SVP of operations.
It's just such a lesson to people that feel like they're slogging it out in a dead-end job. I think what somebody once told me, there's no bum territory, only a bum in the territory.
I like that.
Right.
And it's to be like, I have been 35 years with the same company, but I've changed jobs every few years, get promotions, relocate, change segments, go back to other segments, work for some of the same people more than one time.
Yep.
But I don't have to leave the organization. Don't have to fill out all that paperwork.
Right.
Don't have to be recruited. Although it would be nice to be asked sometimes, I guess, but I work for a very specific portion of the industry.
Maybe they know that you're loved so hard that you're ungettable.
I do tell myself that because there's only been a few times that I have been tapped, and I'm like, I think it's because they think 20, 30, 35 years, he's not going anywhere, which is probably true at this point. But you never know.
But, well, it's funny, the diversity of the background that you described. Walt Disney was famous for saying, if you want to be the CEO of Disney, you have to work every job in the park.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you're on
track. And there are a lot of jobs in those parks as a Disney adult. I can attest to that.
Well, I can tell by the glasses.
Yes. They change every day. So I do have Mickey ones on.
Much like the menu.
Yeah. Much like the menu, my glasses change every day and they typically match what I'm wearing.
That's funny. So I'll just full disclosure, I have an entire floor of my house that is all now Disney because they bought it all Marvel. I have a museum in my house to Marvel.
I will be down there in June for a personal trip. And I may or may not have my annual pass ready to go, and I may or may not have a tattoo that goes with the brand.
And he probably may. That's fantastic. Well, David, if there's anything that the world doesn't know about Sodexo, I always like to ask, bust a myth for me about what Sodexo is or isn't.
Bust a myth.
Yeah.
See, that's a fun one. What it is or isn't, because of what people don't know, because most people have never heard of us.
Yeah.
We're the 23rd largest employer in the world.
Well, you know what? I wish government acted the same way. Like it just does it, and you don't know about them. That would be great.
It's very true. I think that the myth would probably be just from our side of the industry. Is that we actually have chefs working for us, and chefs that care about food and care about the talent and care about the skill, and then we have people like me and our digital team and our TDDI, Tech Digital Data Innovation team, that are here to support them in making sure that we're delivering a great experience to the guest, no matter who or where they are.
Well, quality ingredients, I imagine.
And quality ingredients. Like that it's not stuff coming out of the freezer.
Yep.
And that we have skill and talent and people that are passionate about food. They just decided they didn't want to work holidays and every weekend and every night, so they came to work for Sodexo.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And one last bit, I know we have the show here and it's the last day. These events are typically barometers. The traffic, the amount of people, the tone of the language. Is it subdued? Is it quiet? Is it desperate?
Yeah.
What's your barometer take on this event and how we're doing as an industry or where food service is today? I've
been excited, I think is the easiest term to use, throughout the last 2 days. And it's my first time attending, but to see the disparate parts of the industry, Restaurant Leadership Conference, restaurant can mean a lot of different things, from QSR to fine dining and everything in between.
Even in your own four walls.
And even in our own four walls where we have it all.
Yeah.
But to see the leaders of all of those different types of locations come together to talk about the exact same problems, the exact same exciting things, the exact same guests, and how they each treat them.
Right.
Because we're all taking care of the same people, whether it's where they work or when they are going through the drive-thru or when they're on date night, as we've heard different stories from the presidents and the consumers on the stages and the panels this week. We all have the same audience. We're trying to get our share of that.
Yeah.
And no matter where you sit within the industry, we all care about the guest experience. We all care about food and how everything else can make delivering on that better. Okay, last question. This should be a fun one. As a marketer, what's the most gangster campaign you ever saw? Something you just vibe with going, that was badass. I don't even know you'd have to use the term badass. That was awesome. I would use the term badass. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Out there in general? Yeah.
Mine comes to mind like the old Apple one where you're swinging the anvil
Or
and
the
it
swing the
smashes
anvil
the
and
screen.
smash the,
Yeah,
I mean,
you know.
that is fun. I'm not going to go with burger mogging, although that has been interesting and an interesting part of conversation this week, having conversations how we could get maybe our CEO to do that with one of our celebrity chefs, if it would make sense. I find those interesting, and how one random thing
Right.
caused a chain reaction in the food service industry. I don't know. Like, I'm a Disney adult. I remember commercials that are regular people just having fun and CEOs doing the same thing, or at least pretending to do the same
Well,
thing.
evoking that
Yeah.
level set, childlike innocence, that moment
Exactly.
of joy, that rapture of the moment.
Seeing the CEO of Disney get on a roller coaster is kind of cool. Or interacting in Avengers Campus with Spider-Man. It's kind of interesting to see. And the fact that they actually look like they're having fun doing it.
It's not scripted.
That's what they're trying to deliver to the guest. So that's where I go.
Authenticity wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, David, this has been fantastic.
Absolutely.
Dude, I could talk
Pleasure.
to you all day. Absolutely.
It's been fun.
Everybody, this is David Gaughan with Sodexo. If you have any questions about the stuff we talked about today, I have a feeling he's on LinkedIn.
I am.
There he
Pretty
is.
easy to find. There's not that many people with my name.
So for now, we're going to be out of here, but thank you so much for being part of our audience. I think this is probably our last broadcast here from the show, but thank you for your time over this last couple of days, and we will see you on the next one. And as always, random acts of kindness, sprinkle that stuff everywhere. You never know whose day you're going to make better, just like David made our day much better too. Take care and have a blessed day.